Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Vivino, the world's largest online wine marketplace. The Vivino app makes it easy to choose wine. Enjoy expert team support, door-to-door delivery, and honest wine reviews to help you choose the perfect wine for every occasion. Vivino. Download the app on Apple or Android and discover an easier way to choose wine.
Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on the Italian Wine Podcast. Today we'd like to welcome you to the Wine to Wine 2021 Clubhouse Marathon in collaboration with the UK Wine Show, Interpreting Wine and Bevology Inc. I am delighted to be actually in Italy for the first time in a very long time, in Verona, and I am so happy to have as my guest today Pietro Russo, who is joining us from a very special place, the island of Pantelleria, one of the most far-flung of all of Italy's many wine regions. Pietro, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mark. It's my pleasure. Really, it's a great pleasure to be here and talking with you about this island and my highlands.
Your island, and I am a great fan of the wines of Donnafugata, which you are the winemaker for. I'm really looking forward to talking about the range of wines that you produce. But first of all, let our listeners know a little bit about this special island, your island, where you are right now, this volcano that's closer to the north coast of Africa than it is to the Sicilian mainland, let alone the Italian mainland.
Pantelleria, it's really, for me, it's a dream. It's a land of extreme. It's a bit like Sicily, but really concentrated in such a small island. So the place is unique. It's in the middle of the Mediterranean Channel, and once you arrive, you can really perceive its distinctiveness and its peculiarities. First of all, we should remember that it's the island is more closer to Tunis than Sicily. So it gives you an idea of how unique can be these conditions. And then once you arrive, the architecture is unique because of the typical damuso. The landscape, it's very wild. It's a volcanic landscape that moves from the seaside to the top of the Montagna Grande that has at over 800 meters above sea level.
Wow.
So the landscape can really change a lot. And it's an island that is dominated by the wind. And for this reason, people needed to grow the vines in very distinctive conditions. The viticulture is unique because it's a single variety. It's the Zealand. It's what we call Moscato d'Alessandria. And also the name Zealand came from this place because Zealand means in the Arabic means zabib. It comes from zabib, that it's dried grapes, and this comes from the old domination of the island that was for over 300 years by the Moors.
Okay, so we have this small island closer to Tunisia than to Sicily, rising as an extinct volcano. Is that right? And it's really this volcanic terrain that is the most important feature in Pantelleria.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, as you said, it's an antique volcano for sure. It's not anymore active, at least for the moment. But it has built the landscape of this island. It's completely volcanic sand for sure. Volcanic. It's it's a very complex word because this doesn't translate such a high diversity of soil depending on the share, depending on the lava flows, depending on the altitude.
Okay.
So the volcano has depicted all this wide scenario, and this diversity, you can imagine, it's even more variegated by the altitude of the vineyards. You can find vineyards really close to the sea, and then up to the volcano at 600 meters.
Wow. Okay.
Then for sure the orientation.
The wind that you were mentioning, is that a hot wind that comes from Africa? What is that wind called?
Yeah, we have two main winds. One is the Scirocco, what we call Scirocco, so the south, the wind from the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
It's southeast, coming from southeast. It can be very warm and dry, and can blow for 3 to 4, even a week. In very, it can be very heavy, let's say. And then the other wind, the main wind is the Mistral. It comes from the north, and it's definitely cooler than this. And both can have designated where to grow and how to grow in this island.
And it's for this reason that you have a very particular method of growing that's actually a UNESCO heritage. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, we have the chance to preserve this unique trellis system that is Alberello Pantesco.
Okay.
Alberello Pantesco is a trellis system that was developed by the natives of Pantelleria, and according to the climatic conditions that are extreme. So it's a bush vine. It's a very low bush vine that stands no more than 40 to 50 centimeters from the soil, and there this bush vine with 3 to 5 branches of all the tree stand protected by the wind, thanks to some holes. So growers dig some hole close to these bushes, these vines, to protect from the wind, and try to collect the humidity of the night, because we don't have any stable water to irrigate for irrigation, and so
and very low rainfall.
Yeah, the only rainfall, so mean rainfall are lower than 400 millimeters per year, so 370 something millimeters per year. So it's very low and concentrated only in the autumn and winter. So these are even extreme, very arid conditions for vine growing, and this trellis system and this viticultural system, it's helped vines to grow and concentrate the humidity, and it's a low expansion trellis system that helps to keep the vigor and make the grapes really concentrated.
Okay, so we're really talking about an heroic form of viticulture, this traditional labor-intensive, a single vine in its own pit, so that it can capture this moisture and protect from the wind. And through this grape, Zibibbo, ripens to this high degree of sweetness. The aromatic Musca di Alexandria is ripening to make an extraordinary wine. Let's talk about the Donnafugata Ben Raye. It's one of my favorite passito wines in the world. I think you make a really stunning wine, and when I do wine tastings, I've never had anybody not fall in love with this wine, so complimenti.
Thank you. So, Berrier, so our Passito di Pantelleria, it's our flagship wine. It's flagship sweet wine from Italy nowadays. So we are very happy from this. But this is the result of the terroir, the result of all this unique condition, and we try to convert in this wine. It's quite a special process because we have not only dried grapes but also some percentage of fresh grapes for the production.
Okay.
So we start the production we start the harvest by picking the grapes for sun drying. We start at the second after the second half of August. So we start for the drying process that takes place that requires 2 to 3 weeks, and at the end of August, then we pick the grapes for the production of a fresh must. And once we start to ferment the fresh must, we add gradually the dried grapes.
Okay.
That at the same time we destem manually.
Okay.
So it's a kind of vinification with the pomace, vinification with these dried grapes to extract all these concentrated aromas, concentrated flavors, sugars, and acidity.
While keeping that freshness from the fresh grapes.
Yes, absolutely. If you just to give you an idea of the numbers, we have at the end around 200 grams of residual sugar with around 8 grams total acidity.
Okay.
That means that you not only extract sugars, but you only concentrate the acidity and this savoriness and saltiness that is the true element for the balance of the wine.
Right, it's that balance, I think, that is so attractive in this wine. This, as you say, the sweetness that isn't cloying, balanced by the acidity.
I can also tell you that it's a very difficult fermentation because at the end it can be very sticky, it can be very concentrated for yeast to ferment, and the fermentation takes up to so for several weeks. So now we are fermenting our Passito di Pantelleria, and we are still destemming our dried grapes manually because it's a process that takes really a lot of time.
So just piano piano, you add the dried
piano.
grapes when you feel it's the right time.
Yeah, and it takes so long, but it's really, and then this is the reflection of this unique condition of the sign, and also this peculiar characteristics of this such aromatic variety that is the Zibibo.
Okay.
Zibibo from a volcanic area.
And just one other question about this, Benrai. The appassimento, it takes place directly in the sunshine. The grapes are outside or they're covered?
Yeah, the grapes are outside. We only put the grapes into greenhouses for the night, just to protect from the humidity.
Okay.
Because the highland during the night can be very humid, and this will affect the drying process. So it's a sun drying process, absolutely.
Well, let's cross over to the mainland of Sicily, where Donnafugata has a number of estates all around the island. Donnafugata, the name, of course, recalling the country estate of the Prince of Selina in Tomasi di Lampedusa's famous novel Il Gatto Pardo, the leopard. Your estates are across the country, perhaps not unlike the type of estate that the Prince of Selina would have had when he would travel from Palermo out to his estate. Tell us about some of where your estates are located and the wines you produce. Okay. I know you have a very large range of wines, but just some of the most characteristic and iconic wines of Donnafugata.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to just make an idea of what is Donnafugata. Donnafugata is a family business.
Okay.
Family business from the Rallo family that today is the 6th generation running the winery. And this started at the beginning of the 80s in the western side of the highland, so in the place of the Gatto. And thanks to visionary person that had the ambition to grow the reputation of Sicilian wine. It was Giacomo Rallo with his wife, and the idea at those times, the image of Sicily was not the same as today. We're famous for bulk wine production. So this process started in the middle of Sicily, in the hinterland of Contessa Entellina.
Okay.
This is nowadays the core of our viticultural production, where we produce the Millonanotte and Tancredi as flagship red wines. And then in the 89, Giacomo and Gabriele Rallo purchased the land in Pantelleria, and started the first harvest of Fassito di Pantelleria Benriè. And then this adventure continues, because in the 2016 we have purchased other pieces of land in the most compelling areas of Sicily, that are Etna where we have now other iconic production from this area. And at the southeast of Sicily, in Acate, which is the land of the Cerasuolo di Vittoria, the unique DOCG of Sicily. So across these areas we produce iconic wines, wines from Contrade in Etna, Montelaguardia and Fragore, Montelaguardia and Marchese. We produce a Frappato and the Cerasuolo di Vittoria from Acate, that are very distinctive reds that are completely unique and different from the reds from the inland of Contessa Entellina. So, yes.
That's actually a very interesting challenge for you as a winemaker, because you're making having almost a number of wine regions to work from Pantelleria, which is unique, to the different styles of red wines from throughout Sicily, working with Nero d'Avola in different areas. For example, in the southeast, that would be the Nero d'Avola with Frappato for the Cerasuolo. Tell us about the wines, how Nero d'Avola changes across the island.
You say challenging, and I can say it's true, because the harvest in Donnafugata takes up to 100 days.
Okay.
So it's quite unique too.
And you're almost a flying winemaker then, overseeing the production in all the different estates.
We need an helicopter during harvest time.
Yeah.
It will be the best condition. No, I'm joking. Nero d'Avola can transmit the sense of the place, so the sense of origin. It's a typical variety that can transmit the depth and concentration of the clays in Contessa Entellina.
So a richer style of Nero d'Avola.
Yeah, the soil in Contessa Entellina are quite heavy and calcareous. Nero d'Avola becomes very dark in color, with some purple hue, and then very concentrated and powerful on the nose, with dark cherry and black fruit on the nose, with high, rich and powerful tannins too. And there we produce the Millonanotte, which is our iconic red that is made for the time for aging.
And that's 100% Nero d'Avola?
It's not a pure Nero d'Avola. There are some smaller percentage of Syrah and Petit Verdot to complete and make something more complex at the end, and trying to have something more approachable since the beginning, because Nero d'Avola is a native variety of Sicily and therefore can have quite a high acidity that can make tannins a bit chunky, but at the end of this way we can have something really sold and refined. While at the extreme southeast of Sicily, you can have a really different expression Nero d'Avola, because we are in the sandier soil, sand that comes from the altopiano Ibleo, sand and tuff, slightly calcareous, and here the aromas are definitely more perfumed. First of all, the color is lighter, and then you have a lighter style of red, much more perfume that plays with aromas of strawberry and red cherry. Is much more delicate, and some wild rose scents too. While in the palate, it is definitely lighter, with smooth tannins already resolved and rounded.
So completely...
it's a different style that we also propose as slightly cold, slightly chilled red to pair with even with the fish, with some tuna, some red tuna, for example. Sicily.
I think it's really important for listeners to understand how Nero d'Avola, this great native grape of Sicily, can have so much local and regional character as it moves around the island. And I guess that sort of delicacy is why it blends well with Frappato.
Yes, absolutely. Frappato is another quite delicate variety. Well, Nero d'Avola is not that delicate, but Frappato, yes, it's a delicate variety that plays more in the floral side, and helps to give more scented, nuanced aromas in our Cerasuolo di Vittoria.
Okay. And one final red I'd like to discuss with you, which is one of my favorites, is Tancredi. Tancredi, again, a name that comes from Il Gatto Pardo. A wine that I suppose links the tradition of Sicily with a more modern style. Tell us a little bit about Tancredi.
It's, again, as I said, it's one of our flagship wines from our range. Its first vintage was a 90. In 1990, it was the first harvest, the first production of Tancredi, so you can understand it's our traditional, historical wine. And as the name Tancredi, if you know the character of the Gepard, it's the result of, it's a combination of ambition and elegance at the same time.
Okay.
For Giacomo and Gabriele, I started like a bet, because we have paired an autochthonous variety that was not that famous at those times with an international variety, so that trying to boost the perception of Sicily at those times. I think this bet was absolutely win. Was good, and the results are nowadays in front of us, because we can still open these bottles and from older vintage, and they still looks beautifully. So it's a blend of structured Cabernet Sauvignon, structured because even this terroir is can be very heavy, it gives rich and bold wines, and blended with more delicate and fresher in this context Nero d'Avola.
Okay.
So giving its acidity and giving the more depth and length. So it can be approachable since its youth, but then it can really improve in bottle with age.
Okay. Well, it's a wonderful range of wines you produce. I've been a big fan for a long time, and it's great to actually be able to be in conversation with you. I'm looking forward to my next trip to Sicily. I'll be going there soon and enjoying your wines when I'm there. So thank you very much for being a guest with us today. I've got a much better picture of Pantelleria, an island I've always wanted to visit. I hope I will get there soon, and you've made me want to go to Pantelleria even more. So Pietro, it's been a real pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to actually meeting sometime soon. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, and thank you, Mark.
So that is all we have time for today. I'd like to thank Pietro for joining us, and thank you for joining us on this Wine to Wine 2021 Clubhouse Marathon.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.
Hi everybody! Italian Wine Podcast celebrates its 4th anniversary this year, and we all love the great content they put out every day. Cin Cin with Italian wine people has become a big part of our day, and the team in Verona needs to feel our love. Producing the show is not easy, folks. Herding all those hosts, getting the interviews, dropping the Clubhouse recordings, not to mention editing all the material. Let's give them a tangible fan hug with a contribution to all their costs. Head to ItalianWinePodcast.com and click donate to show your love.